Hey, what is up guys, I'm Andrew, and in this video I'm going to show you how using PC parts, which basically are for recycle, I made one pretty nice and functional computer. Except that back in function, this computer, I made a few modifications. Like I paint the motherboard, I paint the GPU also, I made a wooden PC case, I add a new and better cooling, and instead, using hard disk, I used SSD. This PC doesn't have some powerful performance, but is good enough to run Windows 10, is great for web browsing, media center, doing all basics, and is good to play some older but great games. Okay, let's start. And first let's take a look at the PC parts that I used to build this computer. The motherboard is BioStar. This is old DDR2 motherboard with AM2 socket. The CPU is AMD Athlon 64X2 4400 Plus. This is dual-core CPU running at 2.2 GHz. The RAM is 2.5 gigs in total, DDR2. The GPU is NVIDIA GT210 with 1 gig of video memory. And the power supply is some power box, cheap power supply but without cooling fan. Basically these are all components for now. All what I have for beginning, but later I'm going to make some changes. Before I start with some modifications, first I need to clean all PC parts from dust and basically make all of them to look like in a new condition. First, I will start with the power supply. Because I'm going to clean and spray paint the power supply, I will have to remove all components from the inside. After I remove the power supply from the case, first I clean it from dust and I check all cables and components from the inside, because I want to be sure that all is in a good condition. After I clean the electronics, I spray paint the power supply case, because I want to make this power supply looks better and different. Because this old power supply is without cooling fan, I have to install new 12 cm cooling fan. Basically, on the power supply I didn't make some changes, except cleaning the power supply and painting the power supply case. Now let's move on the other modifications. The motherboard and the graphic card are looking good, but because they look a little bit old-fashioned, the motherboard is green and the graphic card is blue, I've decided to spray paint the both parts. Also, I done this because I want to show you something different. However, I've done this before and all is working pretty fine. Also, I want to say that this is a high grease step, and after painting these PC parts, no return back. To paint the motherboard and the graphic card, I'm going to use matte white spray with acrylic quality. This is nitro-based spray, quality spray, and this spray is without metal or water, which is very important. Now, before I start with spray painting, first I'm going to protect all important components on the motherboard and on the GPU, like all chips, on the motherboard chipset and on the GPU chip, I'm going to protect all connection, like RAM slots, PCI slots, and all others. Also to protect all components, I'm going to use paper tape. And I'm going to use hard foam. This hard foam is great to protect these tiny connection pins, and the hard foam will not melt while spray painting, which is very important. Okay, now let's paint the motherboard and the GPU. Spray paint the motherboard and the GPU is going pretty slow, because I do it slowly and very careful. Also, I spray very light, I mean I never spray hard over the motherboard or the GPU. Spray paint is going in a 5 to 7 very thin layers, and all these layers are thick about 1/10 from the millimeter. Also, this spray paint won't cause some issues about overheating or something else. And after about a few hours of painting, this is how the motherboard and the GPU are looking. I done this a few times and I never have some issue, but I done this on older hardware. I mean older motherboards and GPUs. Personally, I'm not going to recommend this on new hardware, because new hardware is different technology and new hardware is already looking great. Now it's time to make the PC case. Actually, I don't have any normal PC case for this computer, and that is the reason why I've decided to make some PC case. The PC case I'm going to make from wood, and this PC case has a very simple design and it's pretty easy to make. Also, to stick all parts together, I will use stronger glue, not a classic wood glue. Now, after I stick all parts together, I apply wood stain. I apply wood stain because I want to make this PC case looks better. Then I stick corner aluminum on the PC case, because I want to make this PC case stronger. From the bottom side of the PC case, I place small case fits, and from the back side of the PC case, using aluminum, I make power supply mount. Before I continue with some other modifications on the PC case, I place motherboard holders. But also, I will going to use these holders at the back side of the PC case and on the front side of the PC case, because I'm going to mount two other panels. At the back side of the PC case, I will place plastic panel. This panel actually is from a broken laptop, and this panel will cover the cables from the back side. On the front side, I will going to place other smaller panel, because to close the PC case, and on this panel I will going to mount the power and the restart buttons and the CPU cooling fan controller. Because I want to make this PC build looks better, I will going to use better cooling fan than before. And over the RAM, I will place RAM shield. And as final upgrade, instead using hard disk, I will going to use SSD. The SSD will going to make this computer running faster. And basically, these are all modifications that I make on this computer. Now I continue with installing the Windows 10 and making all tests, because I want to be sure that all is working well. Okay, now let's move on testing and some games. Because this is older hardware, I cannot expect a lot, but some older games are running pretty well. First, I will start with Minecraft. The Minecraft is running pretty well, but sometimes I can feel frame drops. But generally, the gaming is going with stable frame rate, and in the Minecraft, the average frame rate is about 25. The second game that I try is the Counter-Strike 1.6. The CS is going great with very stable and high frame rate, and personally I did not expect this. Using 1080p resolution, the maximum FPS is about 60, and the minimum is about 40 FPS. The third game is the GTA San Andreas. Simply, I cannot skip this game on some older hardware, but this computer is perfect for this game. The San Andreas is running pretty well. Even using high graphics, I got about 30 to 40 FPS. Because I want to go more and see the limits on this computer, I installed the GTA 5. And the GTA 5 is running, but not really well. With 1080p resolution and all low settings, I got about 10 FPS. But with all low settings and the lowest resolution, the GTA 5 is running with about 20 FPS, which actually is not really playable. And basically, this is all about this potato computer. This computer is working pretty good and actually is better than expected. It's great for web browsing, watching movies, playing some older but great games, and basic stuff. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you want to support me, you can press the subscribe button. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.